morning. Happy Friday. It's sunny, beyond sunny here anyway. What is it like where you are? And I hope you have had a good week so far and that you're ready to do something creative. Are you going to be making? Are you going to just be heckling? Are you going to be sneezing? Any of these things are welcome. So thank you so much for joining me for Friday Live. I'm not sure how long a face cam's going to last today because I put the battery in the charger and then when I took it out, it hadn't charged. So I'm going to do my speech really quickly so that I've got that base covered instead of going straight to the desk because I don't think this camera is going to last very long. So hi, my name's Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime I scrapbook on the internet, it's legally considered advertising, and I have to make sure that you're aware of that. So thank you, as always, for coming to watch my hashtag advertising. I'm always really glad that you're here. If you ever have any questions, let me know. And you'll find lots of useful links in the description box, including a link to all the supplies I'm using right now, including a link to all the supplies I'll be using next month, and my August kit has arrived here. So I can show you that very soon. And classes that I teach, all sorts of fun stuff like that. And yes, I'm just very glad that you're here. Now, the camera made it through this far. I'm going to switch to the desk and then I don't have to worry about it anymore. Yay! Desk cam! Okay, so I've got the stack of what I've made with the July kit so far right here. And I've done 4 live streams, so 4 pages, and this month I've got them all done so far. I'm not lagging behind on getting journaling on or anything like that. So started with a single photo theme park day, and then a half and half composition page with symmetry right down the middle. Yep, and a page with lots of embellishment down one side of the page. And then the facing page to that single photo Legoland page is a 10 photo Legoland page so that those two can go together and tell that story together. And I've just had some error message pop up on the screen, so hopefully you can still hear me. So that's what I've done so far. Those 4. So 3 single photos, but then I made up for it with a 10 photo. So that's probably more photos than I normally scrap, even if I'm doing doubles throughout the month. Right. Let's see if it'll let me cancel that error message. I think it will. Okay. Now, who have we got here? We've got Elaine and Sophia, who's sadly become the plague house finally. Avoided it until now. I'm sorry. I hope that you are all truly on the mend. Sherry is with us at 2:30 in the morning, her time. Goodness. See if I can get you to sleep, Sherry. Kirsty's taking a break from packing. Jean's here. Kat's here. Deb's here. Kay and Jean. Who else we got? Christina, Melinda, Leslie, Chloe. And now I always get to this point where I scroll and I can't remember who I've said. China Girl and Scrappy Rick here. Thank you, everybody who is joining me live today. And thank you to everybody who's out there who watches from Tomorrowland at a time that suits your schedule. I'm going to have a massive quandary because I've just realized that both my main pair of scissors and my backup pair of scissors are on the desk next to each other. And now I got to figure out which one's which. Oh, it's those. Okay, cool. Right, so I've got a picture of a mad scientist to scrapbook today. And I'll have a little bend and snap. One more. There you go. I'm going to trim this one, so that one was just for your ASMR scrapbooking needs. Right, I want to do lots of layering. How many times do I say that? Far too many. But there's kind of a look that I had in my mind that to my head, I tend to think of this as old school layering. I don't know why that's what I've ended up calling it, because how many years old does something need to be to properly be called old school? So if I'm like 2 peas in a bucket days, does that count as old school now? I mean, 2 peas in a bucket has been gone as long as WB has been alive. He was a tiny baby when they closed it. He's about 6 weeks old. So, right, I don't know if that counts as old school or not. But there's this type of layering that always reminds me of my time toward the end of 2Ps, and that's what gets labeled in my mind as old school layering. I don't know. I'm not saying that it's a design term that needs to be picked up. It's just what my brain categorizes it as. So I've got the photo here. And then a lot of the design work is done just by the stack, the paper stack. Okay, so I end up with this kind of right side heavy composition. And then I'm going to come over to this side and have a thin journaling box that I'm then going to make blend into this side with more paper stacks and some embellishment tucked in there. And then whatever embellishment is tucked in over there is also going to get tucked in a little bit over here. Now that I've drawn it out, it doesn't quite match up with what my brain calls old school layering, but I think it's still going to work. Okay, and then we end up with this big empty space here in the middle, right? And so the title is going to come in here, and you can run the title horizontally or vertically depending on how your title fits best. Okay. Now, one of the reasons I like this kind of composition is that if you have more than one photo, you can just ignore the big empty space. So you start with your 2 photos here and you make all these layers bigger to go around them, and you just don't have the canyon of empty space in the middle. Or you make it a little wider and you print a big box of smaller photos and you make it a multi-photo page that way. Okay, if you want to screen grab that, there you go. Let's see if we can make that happen. Okay, I saw something about we can still hear, and I'm like, does that mean that you can't see? But I think it's okay. Okay, it wasn't me. It was just, I saw that one comment randomly. Okay. Yay, Sophia is going to attempt to finish the pink page with her axolotls. Because she's got the background done already. Take your time, Sophia. You're allowed to take a break when you're poorly. You're allowed to take a break anytime. But anyway, right. Okay, so first thing I need to do is choose what background I can put this on, because one of the things that in my head goes with this label of old school background, or old school label. Okay, can I just start over with words? Old school layering is that the background is quite plain and neutral. So things that we used to use a lot of grid papers, ledger papers, maybe a tone on tone, but not this, like you could use this design with a really bold pattern paper that you wanted to show here, but in my mind that's not the style choice. It's that this is more of something simple. I was going to say neutral, but you know me, it's not particularly neutral, but plain. And then these have the color and the pattern in them. All right, so what have I got in the kit that falls under that sort of heading? Oh, okay. So things that could be options. Oh, crack myself up when I just am overwhelmed with this could work. Okay. So was there one grid, but it's pink, and I'm not really sure that I want to lead with pink here. Yeah, so grids would work really well, but that's not the right color for this photo. So that gives me these options. Now, wood grain does work with this style for sure, but that's a very outdoorsy photo. I don't think that photo goes with this paper. You can tell. Well, I know that that's an outdoor brick wall. I don't know, maybe your house is fancy and you have indoor brick walls, but okay, which gives me clouds or dots. I think it's the dots. Okay, I wouldn't have thought that straight away, but it is. So this is polka dot from the petite print section. So if you're not somebody who picks up the optional background sets, then you want to look for things in your stash that will do the same sort of effect. Oh my goodness, how many lawnmowers can there be at the same time? And that is, you could do it with just plain white cardstock. You could do it with white that then has a small pattern, like dots, like grids, like ledgers, anything like that. Or you could pick a pattern that picks up on a color that's in your photo, but you probably want a less intense pattern, so that you can then layer up all of the other patterns on top and they're going to feel more prominent. Not that you're going to layer up a bunch of stuff and have it compete with the background. Yeah? Okay, so we start like that. Now, why is it showing me a button? There we go. Oh, I got it. Okay, thanks, Sophia. Sorry, I was reading comments out of order. She's put me straight. Okay. So things like the cut aparts will definitely go into these layers. And we can, with that background, we can just set a color scheme by what pieces pick up to put on top of all that. So we've got, those are going to be backgrounds. So let's start with these cut aparts actually. So I've got this kind of tone in the background already. So we can do that one. Kind of like these two down here. So the story of the mad scientist. So this was a role he played in a show last weekend. And they were a group of scientists who had invented a time-traveling app that had allowed anybody who put the app on their phone to travel in time. And this had changed course of history, and people were taking holidays to different timelines instead of different destinations, things like that. But of course, plot thickens. There was a small problem in that the app had malfunctioned when somebody tried to travel to somewhere they couldn't travel to, and then their story unfolded with time travelers who were stuck with a glitching app and kept ending up in random years trying to get back to where they started. So he was one of the scientists who'd come up with this groundbreaking, world-changing technology. Okay, so I've got pieces here to start with, and then I can go to the next pieces in my kit and find other stuff to do. Deb, I've already done my speech. We are all good. I was straight on it today. Yeah, so kind of setting up these shades of the polka dot color, aqua, turquoise, blue, green, whatever you want to call it, teal. I don't think that counts as teal. Okay, added in some pink and then this rainbow strip, thinking that I could then find different pieces that match all those different rainbow pieces, and that can help set my color scheme there. So basically, I've started with a single color subtle background pattern. Take this stripe, because that has a color in common, and then set the rest of my color scheme by picking up the pieces that are here. This is in the background paper, this is in his t-shirt there, and then these just get added for fun. Yeah? Okay. Right. So then those colors over here, I can do this pink postcard and that tag. Okay. That's actually a decent match there too. Let's have those 3 pieces. Oh my goodness. Is that just overpowering the audio, or is it a hum in the background for you? It's not, it's worse than the leaf blower. All right. So let's have this one. And then this has the little spots on the ends to do with the hole punch. Just line up your hole punch with that semicircle rather than try and cut it with scissors. All right, getting there. So tend to kind of, when I'm looking for the pieces that I'm going to layer, start arranging them so that I can see how much I've got of each thing. So this is kind of the rainbow order happening here. All right, so I definitely need some yellow. I have yellow paper here. Is there enough to maybe punch that? Okay, so far Kay says she can't hear it, so that's good. Right, I'm gonna see if I can do 3 of the big labels in yellow. I believe I can. And I need to think, while I'm picking papers, because I have this line, well, these lines over here, as I'm picking these layers, it can't all be tiny little bits that I can't replicate. I need some things to be something that I've got enough to do something over here and a 12-inch strip over there. So as you're looking at your supplies for a page like this, in case that's helpful to keep that in mind. So I need something a little more orange here. Yeah. So I have the orange that I'd already pulled out from last month's kit that I've already used on the 2 Legoland pages. So I can use this here as well. Do I have, there might be 12 inches of that. Let's see. Not often that you take the 12 inches right out of the middle of the sheet, but hey, we're gonna use the leftovers, wherever those leftovers fall on the page. Okay, nice and straight. Hey, okay, so I've got one bit to go there. Now, stars. I totally just seen that and thinking, yes, let's do stars. Which side's a better match? This side is a better match. And I've got my star punch here. Oh, I'm sorry, Kirsty. I hope it goes as smoothly as possible. You know, these things are not a joyful type of thing. So thinking of you lots. Let's see if I can get one more there. Yeah, oh, just about. Okay. Now, that's a nice amount of littler pieces. Need to kind of get some big mats in here and need to match up these colors a little bit. Have I got, yeah, I can do a strip of this down that left-hand side and have enough to mat a photo. So let's cut a strip of that. And then, let's see about, let's go to this side. Okay. I'll start adding in some pieces that will go behind the photo, like that are big enough to be photo mats rather than just little pieces. Okay, be nice to add in some pink over here. So what have I got in my leftovers here? I've got, I was gonna say I've got dots, but the reverse side is the tone-on-tone stripe in this one, so that's okay. All right, let's just get a smooth edge here. Doesn't need to be big, just a little one. So I've got a strip to go over to that side, and then also a box to go here. Side. Yep. Need, what's left in that orange? Not a lot. So maybe I just use a strip of this rather than cut a mat. Just have that sort of piece. Okay. And then some yellow. So I've used up all this particular yellow, but I've also got a polka dot here. Oh, I have a tiny strip of that, but let's try. Let's do a box over here. Okay, I think it's probably enough to start making that happen. I think so. Okay. And then also going to think about possibly bringing in the sunshine stencil. Okay, just going to say that out loud so that I remember. Right. Let's bring this rainbow of stuff just down to the bottom of the page here. And then ink. I'm gonna stick with black today. Gray, black, whatever we want to call this now. And that's not the right booper. Where have I hidden it? Here we go. Found it. Okay. So we'll ink all the things. Now, what interesting topic of discussion are we going to come up with today for the inking and layering? We have, oh my goodness, now there's 2 of them. Crazy. So we have the fun at the moment that it's a heat wave in a country that's not prepared for heat waves. So it's actually, well, especially right now, it's actually quite pleasant. But when you're in the sun, you can instantly feel that your skin is burning. And either you have a home that has been designed with the idea that it needs to keep itself cool, which ours does not do too badly at. So inside the house right now is not too bad. There's a point where the sun hits just right, and then there's a bit of a greenhouse effect inside with the windows. But if you get the balance right, then you're all good. But a lot of our architecture is not like that here, and we don't have air conditioning as a rule. We walk a lot more than some places, less than others, but you know, I don't have a car. We walk, we take crowded public transport. All of these things are not particularly great in a heat wave. Monday and Tuesday, we have like red alert temperatures predicted. So despite the fact that on the internet last night, there were massive discussions of people going, it's not possible for them to close the schools. That would be an overreaction, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they're closing our school Monday and Tuesday. Unless there's some dramatic change and the weather skips us. Because yesterday the classrooms were so hot that they were having to take kids to the hospital with heat stroke. So, no. And they're just going to close and stay. If you can, stay home and do virtual learning for 2 days. Now, the school breaks up for the summer next Friday, a week from today. So they got 1 week left, and it's instantly like, could you stay home? So we will see what happens. But definitely something they wouldn't have done before the pandemic, because we wouldn't have had all of you can do registration from home and you can access your lesson materials from home. We didn't have any of that before. So, yeah, Joanne says London may get up to 40 degrees. Yeah. 30. So I think the actual weather is scheduled to be about 36, 37, but you know, you get that city effect of when there's lots of concrete and lots of people and the heat just stays in. And the message we had from the school is that they had sent, they monitored the temperature overnight. They put one of those sensors in so they could see what the temperature did. And the building doesn't cool down overnight. So, you know, normally that's where you're trying to get your respite, right? Is that things cool down in the evening and then your mornings aren't so bad. But the building was never cooling down much, only a couple degrees rather than going right down to a nice normal temperature. Now, interestingly, I don't love the black ink on that orange paper for some reason. All the other colors looks fine. The orange, I don't love it. I don't know why. There we go. Also, on one hand, I made an effort in the middle of the week to try and paint my nails. On the other hand, I've done all the jobs anyway, and now they're back to looking scruffier than if I hadn't polished them in the first place. Oh, Shimelle, what do you like? Joanne says it's just 6 degrees in Sydney this morning. Chilly. I was trying to explain this to WB, actually. I was trying to get him to remember that the seasons are the opposite way around when you're in the southern hemisphere. And he was like, yeah, but Australia just gets really hot these days. Like, we can see that the climate in Australia is really, really hot. I'm like, but it's still winter. So it's not as hot there right now as it is here. But he was very worried because we've got a friend going to Australia on Sunday. And he was like, but she's going to be very, very hot. But she's also from Australia, so she knows a little bit more of what to expect. All right, let's turn all this back over. Let's see what we can do. So, start here. This is the sort of thing where I started putting all my adhesive toward the middle so that I could keep tucking things in. And I definitely don't want everything centered. I want kind of different sized gaps. And then I was wondering about putting these two together over here. Do we think I've got enough of this rainbow? I'm going to take off just a smidge so that I can put it on the other side too, and the rainbow appears in two places. That's going to go over here. This one's going to go over here. Okay. This journaling box is going to go over there. This journaling box is going to go over here. It's not going to be able to show all of those pieces. What happens if I just, because I've got place to write here, maybe I just use the top half. Oh. Yeah. And layer that with this pink one. So I don't want this polka dot against that polka dot. I want this framed with another layer of stuff all around it, basically, so that I can separate the two polka dots. Okay. And this one going to go down that right hand edge. The different equipment that they're using outside to chop trees and hedges and stuff, each one is humming at like a different note. It's reminding me of like Chorus of Frogs, but with machines. I can put this label down here. Okay, I'm calling it. I need to replace the booper head on that black one. So that's how long one of the domed ones has lasted for something that I do all of the edges. So that was probably one of the first domed applicators that I used, because this particular set of doing those edges, I've got pieces shedding everywhere. So it needs to change, otherwise it's going to get very messy. Okay, but it lasts a long time. Where can I put this in? Yeah, there. Totally. Okay. I think I'm ready to stick that down. I still need some pieces around here, but that's going to be okay. That's really wonky there. Switch it up. Okay. Photo can go in here. And this rainbow bit to the right of the picture. To move this a little bit. fine right about there. Yep. Deb likes watching me just put the layers together. I'm glad, because I was sitting here going, this might not be very exciting. I'm just moving layers around. So that was well timed. Thank you. Okay, this one up to the top, I think. Yeah. This is from another layout, and I didn't use it, but I think it's going to work, so I'm just going to put it in here. I'm actually, now normally I would really like that, but I'm not. I'm liking it better behind. Okay, let's put the stuff on this right-hand edge. Then this one. And the tiny pink one. And I think one thing you have to be careful about is that the left-hand border probably needs to be smaller, narrower than you expect, because as you build the layers on, each individual piece feels very small. But when you put them together, it's very easy for it to become wider than you imagine. Yeah, so you kind of want to make each piece littler than you might assume. Suspect, assume, anything. So what I was going to do was match up the rainbow so it sits at the same height in both places. Does mean I need to ink the other side of this where I cut it. And then bring it up here. Oh, actually, that's also where the journaling box is going to go, isn't it? Let's put the journaling box on first. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to pick that up and put it back down again. Okay, so journaling box going up here. And I want it to be narrow enough, so pop it underneath there a bit. Okay, now the rainbow. That underneath. Come on. Yeah. I don't know that it, does it read that it's in the same place or not? I don't know, but I like it there. Okay. Mel says, did WB get his hair cut yet? No, so his hair, we found the hairdresser, but she's on holiday till halfway through the summer holidays, the summer break. So it'll be toward getting ready for school, I think. Plus, he needs to psych himself up. He was like, actually, maybe I wait till October. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to just keep edging it another couple months forever. So maybe chop it and start again. I don't know. So there we go. Actually, I have the embellishment on the sketch is down here and up here. So let's see. Can I make that disappear? It's still sticky. It's fine. One down here. I'm not, maybe it's this one I need to look at. I don't like the horizontal and the horizontal and the vertical. It's just like photos. Okay, so bring one up to the top here. In fact, maybe I moved this one. No, that was there to cover that. That's okay. Yeah, okay. So what happens if I do keep them all vertical? I think I like that better. Yep. Did this one actually have any adhesive? No. Okay. Like that. And then let's add in stars with each of those. Okay, those need pop dots so that the centers don't flatten. Okay, one up there, one up here. And one over here. And then next to each of the stars, enamel dots. But here's the funny thing. I am going to use up the last of the kit enamel dots today. That's all I've got left. So it's not that I won't be adding more to any of the other layouts, but I will stash dive throughout the rest of the month, I think. So there's 3. Okay. Done. Embellishments, other things here. So we've got definitions, puffy stickers. And have I used everything that I had cut out at the beginning? I have, right? All of those layers I cut are now on here. Excellent. Okay. Let's start looking here. What words and definitions are going to fit the story the best, because those colors are the same colors that are in that rainbow, so I can use basically anything on the sheets here. This one, so that one says memory, this one says smile, and they have definitions underneath. And because I've used that dot in the background, I can see when things are skew-if. And although there are lots of layers here, I am trying to vaguely keep things in straight-ish lines. I had a gap here. That's why I had to peel that up and start again. No gap this time. Okay. This one says shine. If I got any, yeah, I was gonna say, if I got anything that could fit over here, I do. So I can do this one that says love this and has the yellow. In fact, that one might be small enough that it can sit right in there. Got another little one to come up here. This one that says soak it all in and bring some pink into that little grouping there. Does this take it too far to the right? I kind of like it. I'm going to leave it like that for now. If it feels like it's going to fall, like does it feel solid enough? Does it feel like it would just fall out of there? Then I can change it if need be. Okay. And then this little bit of the peachier color. In there. Oh, I've got little ones with each of those bits. So kind of I got a little one that would fit with that. Don't see why not. And this super simple little one that says amazing. It needs to go there. That's not useful. It falls off the page. So try something like that. Not sure. That feels too boxed in. Like it feels like this closes that all up. Oh my goodness. The tree choppery things are gonna drive me mad. This looks so nice in other places. So I think I'll stop trying to make it fit in here because all of the places just don't work as well. I like it here because it balances this little bit here with that little bit there. Okay. Other stuff. Puffies. So I can pull in a puffy like this. And a puffy like that. Somewhere. Oh, where do I want it to go? Here. Look at this little diagonal of that color. Bring in that cloud one up here too. That's not quite the right place. That's better. Yep. That one there. I'm wondering about this little semicircle up here. It's actually a misprint, like it's blurry. And I'm not sure if that's going to bother me or not. Every time I look at it, I think, so maybe I leave it off. Is everybody's blurry or is it just mine? I don't know. Okay. Now, I've already used the puffy rainbows that have that motif on other pages, but I might be able to bring in something like this somewhere, but actually, I don't see a great place for it to go. Okay, that's fine then. Star, label, heart. Okay. I'm not sure what to do with these ice lollies, popsicles. Got clouds on a stick. I'm not sure. Okay. Anything else that needs to go in here? I'm not seeing a super spot for any of them. So I think that's me done with puffies there. Okay. Is this feel, those of you who've been around a long time, does this feel like a Two Peas 2013-ish kind of page? I'm interested in, is that just all in my brain? Or is that something you can actually see here? I don't know. All right. Hey, Jane is scrapping along today and she's got blues and teals. Nice. Yeah, you can definitely use a design like this yeah, you could use this with scraps, definitely. As long as you've got a couple bits to go down the left-hand side, then you could make this all with bits and pieces from your leftovers. Melinda says, I think part of the reason I hoard scrapbooking supplies is because I don't want to run out or finish them. Okay, you got to change that mindset. Because when you get to a point where when you finish something, you feel great about it, that's a really productive crafting mindset. Because, here's why. When it's something that you use over and over and over and over again. So if you use white cardstock and you finish the pack, then you've got the annoyance of remembering to order or go buy a new pack of white cardstock. But when it is stuff like that, the easy bit is that there's always going to be more of that. Now, things like getting overjoyed at finishing a pack of enamel dots so that you don't have sheets like this just sitting around. Although I am giggling that I think someone has rearranged those for me. I don't remember doing that. I think someone else has done that as a message on my desk. But yeah, so having finished one and been like, whoop, that is done. And I used all of those in a series. So I've used one pack on 5 layouts and now it's all done. And I never had to deal with a page like this. Sometimes I get them where I literally have 2 dots left on the sheet and I'm just like, why? Why did I do that? Why didn't I just stick 2 more dots on the layout? So I know there will always be another equivalent product to enamel dots. So I have no fear in using them. Now, is it that you like look at a collection and you're like, I like this collection so much and they're not going to make this collection again, and so I want to use that? The way to turn that around is that Was it the only collection you've ever loved ever? No. So there will be more collections that you will love, and you can get them and enjoy using them. But also that anytime you have finished a product, that means it's all in your albums. It's preserved on things you made so that you can see it forevermore. Yeah? It lived out its intended life. And I promise you, the people who make the scrapbooking supplies, like the people who actually design the products, we really do want you to get use out of something. Yes, it's lovely when somebody goes, oh, that's a beautiful product and I'm going to buy it. But it's way, way more exciting to be like, and I loved it so much that I put it in my album and here's what I made with it. That is level 10. Yeah. It's such a nice experience to know that not only did somebody like something enough for them to pick it up off the shelf or put it in their shopping basket online, that they then liked it enough to use it. So yeah, I'm here to help you use the things that you buy because that's the joy. Don't fear. Okay? All right. Elaine said Tim spotted a hidden Mickey in one of the samples the other day. That's brilliant. Okay, so what else would go here? So it's going to need some mist. It's going to need a little, I'm just looking at little details, sorry. It's going to have journaling in here and here and here. Now I've not put a letter sticker title on it. I'm just going to use this as the title. And I think, so my title ended up slightly to the right. So I had bundled the title with this originally, but now I'm bundling it with that. But that's okay. This embellishment stayed the same. This has become one over here. That's all right. Now, you know what? Both of these have been sitting here waiting for their moment to shine, and look, they both match. So we gotta do it, right? I'm finally gonna open this turquoise. I'm gonna mist my sketch first, just so we can see the colors. I think this needs way more shaking because it looks very white on the bottom. This is exciting watching, right? Yeah. Are we almost there? Okay, this one's good to go. So this is saltwater taffy distress oxide spray. Water reactive dye and pigment ink fusion. Okay. Oh, let's take care of Maleficent here. And then this one is Dina Wakley gloss spray. It's glossy acrylic spray in turquoise. But because it's an acrylic, it means that the paint bit has separated out from the liquid spray bit. So that's why I am shaking. Get that mixed back up. Okay. It's looking better now. No, it's not like medicine where they give you the little perforated bit to get the plastic. So I gotta get this off. There we go. Done. Look at that. Okay, so we're gonna check to make sure that those go with the layout as much as I am thinking they do. But, hold on. Whoop, I can't get to the buttons on the keyboard. Okay, so that's the color combination that's coming up. And I think we're definitely good to go. Those are both in that Heidi rainbow there. All right. Melinda says her worries on using stuff up comes from the collection thing. Yeah, think about it that if you use that collection that you really love, number one, you get to look at it forever because it's on your pages. And number two, there will be more collections that you love. And if you've used that, you have room to get them. Yeah. Okay. A couple people said use the sunshine stencil. No, not with those. Maybe I'll do that on a separate piece of paper so that we can see how they spray. But there are things I can imagine doing, and just putting this in one of the areas and spraying it is not one. But might bring in the yellow that way. So if I still got a yellow grouper here, yeah. So if I put this stencil underneath here. This is scattered straw. And just add in a little bit of sunshine. Now that looks like circles, not suns. I need to see if I can make the rays a little brighter. See if I can get a bit more ink in the rays so that you can see it's a sunshine and not just a wobbly circle. Yeah. Okay, and then put a little bit of sunshine down here at the bottom as well. I'm just going to mask off that sticker instead of trying to pull it up. Yep. Stencil this down here in the bottom corner. And this time, see if I can get the rays on the first try. There we go. So there's some sunshine stencils, but without spraying through them. Okay, and that's going to need more adhesive there. Okay, now. Let's go to this corner here. And this corner down here. I wonder. Yep. Oh, I went maybe one tap more than I wanted, but that's okay. All right, we're gonna sort out Maleficent's beautiful complexion here. And then we're going to just give that a moment and then do the turquoise. But I think it's just a little bit too wet at the minute. And I'm not running a heat gun in my studio today. No, thank you. Right. Melinda says, there are always more collections, but she does miss my collections. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, it's okay. we'll see what happens in the future. Right. Oh, and I know, I knew you reminded me of the sunshine stencil because I said so earlier. I do want to see what it looks like sprayed through. But you know when you haven't sprayed through a stencil, and then spraying through a stencil is a little less predictable than inking through a stencil. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to regret my choices. Okay, I think it's good now. Oh, I'm getting a lot of little trails today. That one was better. Nope, and then I got a trail. Be patient, Shimelle. Going slower, getting better. I'm not sure I'm going to like what happened with the big bubble of oxide. It's bleeding into the page now. This is taking a little getting used to with my head looking at this, because I usually don't use colors, do I? I just use gold, sometimes gray or white. So seeing the colorful droplets for the first time in a while is kind of making me go, But like this looks quite bold and looks a little like neon paint splattered in that kind of late 90s Jackson Pollock ripoff style. But it's going to have journaling over the top, so it's not going to be quite as noticeable once that's there. So I think that's all right. Okay, and I think I may add a bit of gold as well, but this is very wet, so I'm definitely going to let that dry before I add the gold. Yeah. Okay. Would I add more tiny confetti in any way? She says, bringing out decidedly middle-sized confetti. But I like it. Underneath that yellow. So I've got these all kind of peeking out from the different layers. But I've only got 2 more of that blue, so why don't I find another spot to add in the others? So that could go up here. Using the product. There we go. All right. It's not even a style that takes all that long, right? Like, it's done relatively quickly. Probably the most time spent on finding all the different bits of colors and cutting them all out, inking them all out, and then just start sticking them together. Just putting one offset a little bit here, there, and everywhere. But I think that's pretty much it. Journaling's going to go on there once it's all dry. Probably some gold mist as well. Other things that you could put in here. So you could add lots of those kind of, when you've got layers like this, you can add little office supply type embellishments, and it will feel natural because you've got so many layers of paper anyway, that things like paper clips and clothespins, staples, tags, all of those sorts of things will feel like they go, which does make me laugh because you know what I've got in here, and I didn't use this time, but I'll do it on another page this month, is I've got another one of those paper edges. Well, I'm using paper, so it's on topping. It's not quite 12 by 12. It's definitely not 12 by 12. It's not quite 12 inches long. It's more like 10 and a half, 11, 10 and a half, I think. But yeah, you could put in, I could put one of these in. Actually, it would go best where I've put that one. But I might add one in there. Was there anything else on here that needed to go in? Oh, I've got that one there. There's another one of those. I'm gonna pop it up there, I think. Okay. Yeah. So you could just continue going around your desk and finding little things that match your color scheme and adding them in. It's definitely possible. I hope you have enjoyed this one. Sophia says, she sometimes uses the colors from her Color Shine collection, but it's rare. She just thinks of it as she just thinks of them as confetti or enamel dots rather than colorful mist. Yes. A couple people asking about the title. I'm using this as the title. So my title on the sketch started over here with the journaling, like bundled with the journaling tag or journaling box, but I've bundled it with the layers instead because it fit more naturally there. Right. Would I journal on the card above the title as well as, yeah. So this will have writing, this will have writing. I might even sneak some writing up here, and this will all have writing. Yeah. Oh, and just before I go, I was going to spray through that stencil so you can see it. So let me just get a sheet of plain white. Should I spray with the saltwater taffy? Let's see what that looks like. I'll just make some sort of background out of this. Okay. See what I end up doing with this another day, but right. So for a reveal, yeah, I'm glad I didn't do it, but it can look cool. All right, so my answer is, I was thinking I quite liked the light spray, and then I thought, but try a little bit more because you're testing to see what happens. This was that one extra spray, and it's one spray too many. But otherwise we get that sort of mist. So there we go. I'll do something with that, but I'm not sure what. Right, so there we go. 5 pages down for July. Might have a co-host on Monday in the heat. We'll see what happens there. And I'll see you very soon. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. If you enjoyed this layout, I really, really appreciate everybody who gives the thumbs up, takes time to do that. I know that it is, especially if you're watching on TV, you have to kind of work around to do it. So I really, really, really do appreciate it when you do that. It makes for lots of things happen behind the scenes, so it's great. Thank you. Have a great week, and I will see you soon. Oh, Sophia's telling me, make sure I flip over the stencil and don't waste the mist. I'll see what I can do.